favorite people who I love to watch. And one of my closest friends is Vanessa Marcel. She goes back to General Hospital all the time.
Yes.
And then she goes off and does her, she has a very successful career in daytime, in nighttime, and she never sees it as one or the other. She never takes it as I'm a failure or I didn't succeed in anything. And to be honest, another friend of mine, Randolph Mantooth, said to me, it's never about the medium. It's always about the character. You can never follow the medium. You always have to follow the character because it's the character that you're playing. It's the character that you're stepping into their skin, whether it's on stage, whether it's a movie, whether it's daytime television, or if you choose to do reality TV, because reality's not really reality. So what's the character you're choosing to step into? And I thought that was brilliant advice. And he actually gave me that advice when I went to do General Hospital.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and he's acted very well and been very successful. So what a great person to, pass that down to from.
Yeah.
And Miss Sabina, I think you have some questions you'd like to squeak out.
Yeah. I am so sorry. This just came on suddenly.
Don't worry about
recently, excuse me, thank you. You recently played Queen Eva, Snow White's mother, on Once Upon a Time. That is one of my all-time favorite shows on right now. Yeah. And I wanted to say you're such a timeless beauty and so perfectly cast in that role. What did you like most about that role?
As I was growing up with really pale white skin and light blue eyes and really, really dark hair, people always used to say that I looked like Snow White. So the idea that I got to play her mother on a TV show was amazing. And I had never watched that show before. And when I went to do the show, a really good friend of mine also plays Belle, and I saw her, and she was kind of giving me the background of, the storylines and everything, and I was like, you know what, don't tell me. I'm going to watch it when I get home, because, you shoot the show, and then it doesn't air for, like a month or so. So I went home, and I said to my little 8-year-old daughter, I said, Mommy's going to be on the show. Do you want to watch the show with me? And I said this to my 16-year-old as well. And my 16-year-old was, I'm not really interested. But my 8-year-old and I were obsessed. We started and we couldn't stop. We were watching it on Netflix and everything, and we were watching like 5 or 6 episodes a day, which makes me sound like an awful mother. But we were just watching it, and like Daddy would go and do something, and he's like, I'm going to go to the store, and we're like, oh, okay, bye. And as soon as he'd walk out, we'd turn it on, and we'd watch one, and he'd come back, and he's like, are you guys watching Once Upon a Time? No. And we still watch it, and we're still so excited about it. But I mean, it was such a gift to be able to play such an incredible role that made this iconic character who she was.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Thank you.
And I am obsessed with that. But I gotta say, before I go on with my questions, I'm also obsessed with your husband's show, Revenge. I love that show.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
I noticed that you're married to the director. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
We met working. Yeah, he came and directed a TV show that I was starring in, and we fell in love on our first date, and we are married.
That is awesome.
10 years next month.
Congratulations.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I also recently watched your movie Always and Forever, a movie which you starred alongside Barbara Eden and Max Gale. What was it like working with 2 wonderful TV icons? And I gotta also ask, did you ever watch I Dream of Jeannie and Barney Miller, or both?
That was my father's favorite show, Barney Miller and MASH. So I grew up watching Barney Miller. So I knew who he was the second I saw him. And I mean, I'm in my 40s, so I of course grew up watching I Dream of Jeannie. And I even said something to her. I think I said something to Barbara. I said, well, you have the most famous belly button in the world. And she kind of looked at me like, really? We're going to do that now? And I'm like, I'm not saying anything more than that. I'm just saying, I mean, come on. But she was lovely. They were both really lovely. And that was just such a simple, fun movie. There was nothing too hard to do in that movie. It was just, a great time.
It was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. And you also got to work with Dean McDermott, who is married to Tori Spelling.
Yep.
And what was it like working with that gentleman?
It was good. We had a lot of arguments about riding motorcycles on set.
No.
That was I took away a lot of him saying there's nothing wrong with riding motorcycles and me saying you're absolutely insane. Yes, there is. So, and he would tell me, my wife agrees with you to a degree, but, I'll turn her. And then he had those accidents, and I think he, so if we did a movie again, we would have a different conversation, I think.
Yeah, it's funny, I've actually gotten to ride on a motorcycle once, and it was kind of a thrill, but I would not own and ride one on my own, because it was kind of freaky as well, my stomach did somersaults while I was on it, but it was so fun. That's probably the only thing I'd ever do, like outside my comfort zone like that. I would not skydive or anything like that, but
yeah.
I was curious. I was curious where Always and Forever was filmed.
California, in right outside of LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was definitely a great movie. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed getting to see Barbara Eden again. And I've actually met her twice now myself, and she is a lovely lady. So that's fantastic. Now I've also noticed you've been in many TV movies aside from that one, including Saved by the Bell, Hawaiian Style. What was it like to be a part of a movie based on a hit TV show, which of course I was always obsessed with back in the day? And
I don't think it was as big to me. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it wasn't as impressive to me at the time because they were still doing Saved by the Bell. So the Saved by the Bell phenomenon I don't think it really happened, and correct me if I'm wrong, until after it ended. And then it was like crazy. People, nobody really expressed how much they loved that show until after it was over and it was, done, and everybody was like, wait. So, I know it's kind of an iconic thing, but sometimes when you've been an actress for as long as I've been an actress, there are times in your life that you don't necessarily want to see your physical transformations during those times, like bad hair or, overweight or whatever. And so I remember it being, a job, but not the greatest thing. But I'm still friends with, when I see Mario Lopez or I see Elizabeth Berkley, who I adore, it's always really nice. And Mark Paul, it's nice seeing those people.
Right. Yeah, I was curious. Well, I mean, I've seen the movie, but it's been so long. Can you describe briefly your role in the movie and who you worked closest with from the original cast? Which
I played Mark Paul Gosselaar's girlfriend in it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I worked with him.
He seems really sweet and awesome too.
Mhm. He is.
So one more question is, having worked with so many great actors already, is there anyone you've not yet had the chance to work with that you'd love to work with one day?
I think that the staple answer for most actors, if they haven't worked with this person, would want to work with them, and that would be Meryl Streep, just simply for the fact that I'd love to watch her work up close and in person, But but I don't really, I don't really have aspirations to, I got to get there. I just, if you're asking me the question, I would be pretty excited to work with her. But, she's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, podcast going to Meryl Streep, too. I'm writing this down. Well, I understand that you've recently started a new candle business. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, I have a facialist who I've been going to for 14 years, and he all of his skincare products are the products that I use on my face, and I have for quite a long time. And he developed this amazing candle called the Collagen Body Candle, and it is literally a body lotion in a candle.
Oh, wow.
Incredible scents. There is a white peony candle, which is really flowery. There's the blood orange and Baltic amber candle, which is my favorite. And then there's the vanilla, cocoa, and Indonesian wood flavor candle. And they're not made with any wax or with any paraffin. They're basically just a blend of vegetable collagens, vitamin E, different extracts, and a soy base, and you burn the candle, and within seconds of burning the candle, it starts to liquefy, and that liquid is a pure collagen body lotion. And you use the spatula, and you put it on your skin. You can use it as a massage cream. You can just rub it into your hands after washing the dishes. My facialist likes to rub it into my feet, which is my favorite thing in the whole entire world. And even just lighting them and leaving them in the room, you can light it and have it burning for 30 minutes in your room and blow it out, and your room will smell like the candle for days. And it's just
wow,
beautiful.
What an ingenious idea. I mean, how did he come up with that?
He is a brilliant chemist, and all of his creams, all of his lotions that he's created for the face. He's somebody who doesn't make things because he wants to sell them. He makes these things because he is obsessed with making people feel beautiful and making people feel the best that they can feel. And he wanted to design a candle because people love candles, but he didn't want it to just burn and go away. And he also didn't want the candle to, one of the other issues that we always face with candles is if you don't have it lit, it doesn't smell. Our candles could literally be in a room, and they will make the room smell without ever lighting them. It'll just be more intense if you do light it. And that's my favorite thing about our candles. They really, you can have them many different ways.
That's great to know, because I don't know how many times I've been out in a store and I pick up a candle and I smell it and I think, oh, my God, this smells so good. And you light it thinking that your room is going to be filled with that smell, and it's not. I mean, unless you're right on top of it, you don't really smell it.
Right, not at all. So that's not our candles. And to be honest with you, you can't keep our candles lit for hours and hours and hours. It will absolutely create too much scent in your home, because it's not designed to be a candle that you light all day long. You really want to use it on your skin. You really want to use it as a lotion, and you want to use it to give the boost of scent for your room. I've left them burning accidentally, and I can smell it throughout my entire house if it's in one room that's with the door closed.
Well, it's great because it definitely gives you more bang to your buck, and that's what customers and people that are shopping for these different items want, to save money. And this is a great combination of not only doing something for your home, but doing something for yourself as well.
Absolutely, and they're only $28.50. So they're not expensive candles. They last for an incredibly long time, depending on how much of it you use as a body lotion.
Yeah, that would be something that I would have